Today, I'm going to talk about how to move through difficult periods of life transition and feeling stuck in them. A lot of times, we decide and declare that we want to make a big change. We want to get a new job. We want to move. We want to find a partnership. We want to start that business. And when we make that declaration, we think, when you leap, the net appears, right? It just happens right away. And for whatever reason, that thing is just not happening. It's not coming to fruition. So I'm going to offer a couple of reflections about ways to shift this stuck energy. And the first one actually comes from a post-it note that I put on my desk at some point last year. So the note says, I let go of my resistance to higher levels of functioning. I let go of all my resistance to higher levels of functioning. And what this meant for me when I wrote it was I have gotten so used to things being a certain way, putting myself out for things and getting rejected, launching a new product and thinking this is going to be the thing that's going to finally break through my financial glass ceiling. And then nobody buys the product. I basically got my butt kicked for 4 years in the business that I just closed last year. And we certainly had some wins, and I have learned so much from both the wins and the losses in that process. But ultimately, when push came to shove, the right decision for me was to close that chapter of my story and to trust that something better was out there for me. And a huge part of that was letting go of the way that things are. A lot of us get stuck in this, the way that things are thinking, and it keeps us feeling really limited and lacking agency to make any big changes. So another good example of this would be, let's say you're looking for a new job, and it seems like the best way to find a new job is to apply to the job postings on LinkedIn. And so you apply and you apply and you apply, and crickets, nothing is happening. So you might start thinking like, okay, I'm stuck. Like, why would I keep applying to more jobs if they're not going to go anywhere? If they're just going to go to like the black hole of AI jobs up, why would I keep investing my energy in doing that thing, right? So then you have to redirect that creative energy that wants to make a change. You have to redirect it somewhere productive. So the more productive path might be, I am so isolated in this work from home job that actually my in-person network is really small, or maybe my digital network is really small and I need to expand the way that I think about outreach and connection, because you would not believe how many jobs come to fruition because somebody knows a guy, right? I would way rather hire somebody who comes personally recommended from somebody in my network than some random person that I meet on LinkedIn anyway, right? So just think about how you would feel in that situation. So this is all about infinite thinking, expansive thinking. And when you are stuck in these life situations, this requires infinite thinking, right? And it's kind of the opposite perspective of where we're at when we're in those challenging, feeling like you're butting up against a wall. Instead of what more can I do, what is the next most simplest thing that I can do to move the needle? It tends to shift how you make decisions about where you spend your time and energy. It's asking a different question. What's actually the easiest way that I can keep moving forward? So a great example of this is actually me making this video right now. So I am in the middle of Brenda Turner's YouTube Breakthrough Challenge. And if you don't know Brenda on YouTube, holy moly, get ready for a ride. Brenda is a wonderful business coach, somebody who really thinks about the creative process in a very beautiful and expansive, for me, way. Anyway, my big lesson I've been getting through this process has been, girl, you are doing too much. I am not taking the path of least resistance. I am setting my sights on kind of an impossible place for me to get to, given everything I have going on in my life. So again, this goes back to that same thinking. What is the simplest next step that I can take? And so I am sitting here recording when I was not planning on recording. I made myself accountable to the group that I'm in of this challenge to take massive mediocre action, as Brenda calls it. to just get something out there instead of hemming and hawing and fizzing in my body over how to move forward when I feel stuck. So I have felt creatively stuck for months, months. I was doing so great. I was on a roll. And then as my business came to a close in December, my dog died. I went through all of this massive disruption, emotional disruption. And it's no wonder I haven't really felt very inspired. Things have been difficult, right? But in order for me to move forward, how can I make a YouTube video in the easiest possible way rather than overcomplicating it for myself? So the message I've been receiving is you're doing too much. So how can you simplify? How can you have more fun in this process rather than um, getting wrapped into a story about how it always has to be difficult and it always has to be challenging? So I hope that helps somebody out there. If you are in a situation that feels like you're stuck in it, you're trapped in it, it's not changing, everything that you've been trying to do is not working, I want you to expand into the infinite thinking and look for another door, look for another way to accomplish that result. It has nothing to do with the one that, what do they say, barking up the wrong tree? Like, stop climbing that tree and go look for another path to walk down. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next one.